Welcome back everybody. Today we're gonna play Raze on Lotus. Today is day 53 of playing every agent on every map. As you might be able to hear, I have a cold right now and my nose is pretty much closed, so if you hear anything weird or if it sounds weird during the video, that's probably why. I also had to sneeze a couple of times during recording, so if you hear a sneeze, that's probably the reason for that. Other than that, I would say Raze is probably one of the best agents to play on a map like Lotus, because you can use her in a lot of different ways. She is really good to entry, she's also really good on defense, and she is probably the best agent to fight main with, because her pain shells is a pretty good sol util to take a main space. Starting off with A-side defense. On A-side defense, you can start the round off by throwing a nade right here. This is really good to combine with a breach stun or a deadlock grab net, because the people that are coming A are going to take a lot of damage if they're coming out here right away. It is worth doing that a couple of rounds in a row. If they don't come A, just save your nade. But it is really good to take this space right here and do a lot of damage to the people that are trying to come out. Something that is also worth, if you throw the nade and maybe some other util to stop them from pushing, to get this orb right here. And then jump spot from here if you see somebody in main. If you don't see anybody, you can insta rotate over. And if you see somebody, you can wait here, even use a boombot. And then just hold them, go back if you need to, and in general this is pretty good for some A main aggression. A is a space where you're most likely going to play a lot of the times as a Raze, so playing on A is a pretty good. Other options you have is to insta-nade main and use a satchel to get over here behind the this area right here, somewhere around rubble. This area is called rubble, by the way. And then you can peek from here if they are coming main, triple peek, or even just hide, use your boombot, or just in general throw some util out against them if they are trying to take a fight on you. What you can also do is to go up here with two satchels, you nade insta, use both satchels, and then hold them from up here, go hide. If they are always coming A, going here with some util, for example a breach flash through here or an open flash through main right away, is in general a pretty good idea, and especially with you being up here, you have a pretty decent angle on them coming out, which is pretty hard to predict, and you can then also just drop down, peek them from here, have a teammate peeking them from main, you wait for them to come out here. There's a lot of different options you can do right here. One more thing that is pretty important, if you decide to play aggressive on A, it helps a lot if somebody breaks the door right here in the beginning of the round. Because like that, if you go here, get a kill, you can get out pretty easily by going through this door. The other reason why this is pretty good is, for example, if they are coming B, and you are still on A, and you have a early position right here, and they decide to then go A, if you are, for example, close here, you can then shoot them in the back if they're coming out here, and they're probably not gonna know you're here. Or just in general, having somebody helping you from here, just even holding this angle is a pretty good idea. Something I've also seen some Raze players do is to go here on top of these boxes in the beginning of the round. This spot in general isn't the greatest spot. In my opinion, you should only play this spot, for example, in the second round, if the enemies are trying to rush you here on A. And then you can play here with, for example, an outlaw, get your kill, and then get out, wait for the smoke to come here, and then either run over, or if you don't feel safe enough running over, use a satchel to get over. In general, playing up here isn't a great idea unless you are a chamber, because as a Raze, if you're up there, you can't throw a satchel and get out because you don't have enough time. With a chamber, that is possible because you can just TP out. Another really good angle you can hold is, if you want to play an op, is right here. This angle right here is pretty important. You have to keep in mind there's three like walls in front of you. One right here, the close wall right in front of you, then this wall right here, and this wall right here. Make sure you line them up like this, so you see each of them just a little bit, so the enemies can't really walk out, and you have a really great off angle on them coming out, especially if you're playing an op. One shot and you're out. Other options for a decent off angle or a decent op angle is right here. This one is pretty hard. You have to kind of pre-aim right here, and the people are gonna walk out and maybe even pre-fire you, so be careful if you play this angle. Or another angle that is actually kind of underrated, and I really like playing it, is in the beginning of the round. If they are coming A, you go here, open door, run back, and go all the way to here. and then hold this side here first. And then as soon as the wall opens, you can peek into here deep and get a free kill. Because the door is pretty fast in the last stages of it turning, it is a pretty short amount of time where you can get a kill. And the enemies are not going to be able to react to you right away. So this play is a pretty good play if you have an op and you already gotten your first pick, for example from here. You can fall back, open the door, and then go for that play. Other things you can do with the door, and a lot of people don't actually know that, is you can get on top of it. You can stand on top of the door port right here. It is not the best spot to be at, because the enemies can see you pretty easily if they are coming in. Because yeah, obviously, if they walk in like this, they're gonna see your legs. But if you have a smoke right here, getting on top of the wall is a pretty good thing. Another thing a lot of people don't know is that you can actually surf these walls. You can sort of get a speed boost when you surf along the wall. To do that, it isn't even too hard. You just run into it and then hold the D key, so you're running into the wall and you get a speed boost. This is really useful, especially if you don't have any satchels, to get a far angle. For example, you know somebody's close here, somebody, one of your teammates goes through here, and you yourself are going here, and you have a pretty decent speed boost, and the enemies are not going to be ready for your off angle. Let's say you're retaking A. Retaking A as a Raze is pretty easy. Most of the times you're just coming from either CT, from B or from C, and I just recommend you use either a nade here or a boombot. Then you can focus on the rest of side by either using a satchel like this to kind of check if there's somebody close here, or using your satchels just to get the safe space. So you throw a satchel, walk down, pop it if you see somebody, and anyone that is trying to peek you as you're dropping down is gonna be moved by your satchel, and you have a free time killing them because they have movement and accuracy. Things for your Roomba: if you are holding A, you can throw it through the main smoke right here, and then you see this Roomba through the walls and through the smoke, and if he attacks something and you see him explode somewhere, try to shoot exactly where the Roomba explodes to get some damage off people, or to even find out where they are exactly and get a free kill through the smoke. Other than that, I just recommend keeping your Roomba for retakes. As I just shown you, it is pretty good to clear out certain corners. You can also use him right here to clear out the close corner below, or even backside. Other than that, you can also use a nade front side to stall the plant if you are playing for a retake. Recently I had it in a game where I was on top here as an omen. I TP'd up here and somebody threw that exact nade on me, and I realized how good the nade actually is, because it clears this spot and it clears this spot at the same time and does a lot of damage to those people. So just throwing a nade at around this area right here is pretty good, because the nade damages people playing here and people playing here that are planting. Something that is also pretty good is buying a Bucky on a Raze. It is only 50 credits more than a Sheriff, and in most situations, especially on Lotus, it is a pretty good weapon. Even better than the Sheriff. Because with a Bucky you can play close here, wait for somebody to come in, or even play close here, wait for somebody to come in, play close behind these boxes. I don't recommend playing this spot too often, but especially on eco rounds this spot is pretty good. Get your kill, maybe even get another kill. Anyone that is playing close range is gonna be a free kill for you, and since a map like Lotus has so many close range fights, it is a pretty good weapon. For example, here, if you're pushing in tree, in link even, in C, if you want to take backside, it is just a pretty good weapon, and I recommend playing a Bucky on a Raze more than playing a Sheriff in eco rounds. You can also use it pretty well on retakes, especially with some good satchels. If you know somebody is planting right here, you can satchel on him, or if you know somebody is, for example, playing down here, you can use satchels like these, because you are pretty likely, you are pretty hard to hit out of the air, and jumping a lot around with a Bucky is a pretty good idea. B is probably the side where you're gonna play the least, but if you play B, taking an aggressive peek right here, or even going a little over, is in general a pretty good idea, because you can get over here, get a kill, and then go behind the box and throw a nade to get out, or you can just fight those people pretty close early on. Or you can even sneak up in the beginning of the round close here and hold this close angle with a bucket, get a kill, maybe get another kill and take it out. And in general, playing close on B is a pretty good idea in eco rounds. You can also use a stinger, which is also a pretty good weapon, especially when you're moving. Switching over towards C. C is the other side where you're probably going to play a lot as a Raze, just because the orb on C is a pretty easy thing to get. And if they're not coming C a lot, going out C, taking the space right here and then getting the orb is a pretty good thing, because your ult is a pretty strong ult and it's almost a guaranteed kill, or just some space for your team so you can retake a site pretty easily. Other things you can do on C, especially if they have a Gecko ult, is to wait towards the site, wait for a main smoke, and as soon as Gecko ults, you throw your nade like this. A nade like this bounces over here, and usually when a Gecko ults, he ults right here, and he's gonna take some damage, and might even, because and I say that as a Gecko player myself, some players don't realize that you don't have to press forwards when you're in a Gecko ult, and they're just gonna walk forwards in towards the nade and gonna take a lot of damage like that. Other things you can do as a Raze is to play up on top of here. It is a pretty good off angle, and you can even get out pretty easily just dropping down. And as a Raze, you can even throw a nade like this. That's a weird bounce. And as a Raze, you can even throw a nade like this, which is gonna land towards main and stop them from pushing you towards backside, and you can then take another fight right here. Or even try to get out like this and then hold from here. In general, it is pretty good to play on C, but I still recommend mostly playing on A. C is a pretty good site to play when you know the enemy have a Gecko ult, because like that you can cancel out the Gecko ult. Or the other thing you can also do is to cancel out the Killjoy ult. If they come C and place a Killjoy ult right here, you can just stay here on site, throw a nade like this, and you should be able to destroy the Killjoy ult pretty easily. Other things you can do on C that is not the best though, but if you have a one-way on top of these boxes, or like on top of this spot right here, you can get some pretty easy kills from this off angle right here. And in general, playing around the mound area is a pretty good thing with a Raze, throwing out your boombot and picking out one side, or you're picking out the other side, and trying to isolate fights through this mound. If you want to retake C side, you can use a nade either like this, or all the way in the back like this. Nades like this deny the enemies the ability to play close here or play close water, and they have to push either towards here, where you can have a teammate holding them from here, or if they are playing close here and you nade like this, you can just hold this angle right here, and they're gonna take a lot of damage if they are not coming out. So you have a free time retaking. Other options you have is to use a Roomba either here or towards backside here, and using satchels to get them out of certain angles. If you have a smoke in main, you can use a satchel right here, use it, and then peek around the corner, because the enemies that are gonna either get moved behind or get like jumped up, and they are not gonna be accurate, and you can get a free kill. You can also jump up here. It is a pretty easy jump, and then get the kills on the people that are playing backside. Something you can also do is to nade main, to stop them from running in, after you have used, for example, a Killjoy ult or another ult to take the site. Using a Raze ult is pretty much a thing of feeling. If you feel like, yeah, you can get a free kill, or if you feel like, yeah, they're gonna come A with their whole team, you can use the Raze ult pretty easily. Other things a Raze ult is pretty good for is, for example, retakes. Pop your ult, jump out, and then check for somebody close. Like that you get your team information, and you can also deny some spaces where the enemies can play as. For example, if you know somebody likes to play close here, you can just pop your ult and shoot it right here. You should do enough damage to the people playing close here and the people playing close under, so they are gonna either take a lot of damage or they're gonna be a free kill for you. Same thing if you know somebody is, for example, going rubble every round, and you yourself are nading it, nading main. You can also decide to switch up your nades and throw it towards rubble. If they have an omen, always to ping over there. And you can then use your ult towards main.
My ult's ready.
And kill the people that are coming out of main. Switching over towards attack. On attack, especially if you hit A side, you can use your satchel to get an early peek on the enemies that are not going to be expecting you right away. You can do that by waiting here at the spawn barrier. About a second or so before the spawn barrier drops, you throw a satchel towards this wall. And as soon as the spawn barrier drops, you walk out, pop your satchel, and then go for the kill on the people in main. Especially if they're throwing util, for example, a Raze nade or something, you're going to be faster than the Raze nade. Because you're going to be out here at the same time they're going to have their nade in their head, and you can get a free kill on them. This is really effective to get first kills, but it is kind of risky if you know the enemies have an AWP. If they have an AWP, they're just going to aim at you and you're going to probably insta-die. But if you know they like to fight main and throw some util like that, you can get a free early peek on them, and this is especially strong if you have a breach flash through here, because the enemies are going to be full blind, and you can then just tap them in the head and get a free kill. Other things you can do, and I really like doing that, especially on eco rounds, is to use a judge, or like in the second round after you won first, is to use a judge, then jump up here,
Satchel out. Satchel out.
and throwing satchels like this to kill the people that are playing close here. This is especially good if you have a breach on your team, and if you get it right, you can even get aces like this, which I have already gotten like once or twice. Over just satcheling in front of here and doing a lot of damage to the people that are holding main. Something you can also do on a main, especially if they like taking the orb, is to throw a nade like this, because it bounces off and kind of denies them the option to run through here to peek into you, because it does a lot of damage to them and they have to walk either over here and you can then clear them out with other util, or they have to go back and you don't have to worry about them in main. Other things you can do that I really like is to just in general go on top of this area right here and then jump peek like this, because most of the times you're not gonna get killed unless the enemy have like a 0.001 millisecond reaction time. Like that, you can check if somebody is close. You can then jiggle this angle right here, and then you can jump here to check if somebody is close behind these boxes. If you know somebody is close, you can also throw a boombot like this, and then spam them through these boxes, or wait till the boombot tags, wait for them to shoot, and then peek and get a free kill. Farming this orb is also pretty strong. I really like doing it. Most of the times when I take the main space, there's going to be a smoke right here, and then I'm just going to take the orb right here for free. Another really good spot for the boombot is right here, because like that you get the information if there's somebody playing behind these boxes right here. If there is somebody playing right here, you can peek into the smoke and just spam them, or just in general hold them with a spam, and you can get a free kill on the people that are playing in this close corner right here. Other options to use your boombot is right here on the rotating door in 3, by using your boombot like this and then peeking out here. Your boombot should be able to clear out all of the spaces in 3. You have to kind of worry about the space behind the tree here though, but the close angles are going to be covered by the boombot. Another way to use the boombot is like this, to get information over backside on the people that are playing back here somewhere. And in general, your boombot is pretty good to clear out certain angles you don't want to dry swing. Other options for a nade is one right here for the drop area if you're coming through T.
Satchel out.
Or if you're coming through main, you can use a nade like this to clear out parts of backside and do a lot of damage to the people that are trying to get out. Or also throw one towards stairs to stop the enemies from peeking out stairs, or even close here in the smoke to do a lot of damage on the people that are trying to play in the smoke close. You can then use satchels like this to get space backside, or towards site itself by coming out here, checking the close boxes here, and then crunch the people that are playing in 3. So you have people opening the door, they are gonna be holding them, and you're coming from behind of them and get some free kills. Other options you have, especially in the post plant, is to play here. If you still have a satchel, it is a pretty uncommon spot. You'd have to have somebody holding drop for you though. If you don't have anyone with you on site, you can just wait for a couple of seconds, use a satchel to stall out even more time, or even hide close here and hold the people that are coming out of heaven. You're most likely not going to be checked by the people that are coming out here. They're just going to check over, yeah, there's nobody here, and then walk over. So if you're playing here, you have to check towards this side from time to time to see if somebody walked out. Something you can do on B, if you want to take B really fast, is to use a double satchel right here to get in towards main, and then clear out the close area right here. If you want to take B pretty slowly, you can just walk up here, try to pre-fire the person right here, or just check this without using any util. Then you use util right here, or right here, to get information if there's somebody playing in this corner, or in this corner close here. If you get information somebody's playing close here, you can just spray, and if somebody is main in this corner, you can just throw a nade like this. Other nades I recommend is one towards heaven, to stop them from walking out towards heaven, or one towards link. You can then use a satchel towards side, or use a double satchel towards top side. And then push the people that are trying to come rotate in from A. Other options is to also just go right here with a flash or a stun, with 2 satchels, and then clear it out. Switching over towards C. C is pretty easy to take. You can use a flash from a breach, a KO, or just whatever agent, and then satchel up here and check for the close angles if somebody is close here. You can then use another satchel to get close, or just walk down and take the area right here, and then use a second satchel to get in towards side and towards backside. You can also use your boombot right here close at this wall to check for somebody playing close in this corner, or use your boombot right here. And for nades, I generally recommend one either backside, if you know they like playing backside, or towards CT at this wall right here. That either explodes in towards CT or behind this pillar right here. Those are both pretty common spots for somebody to play as, and in general, using your nade right there is a pretty good idea. What you can also do is, if you only have one satchel left, is to use that satchel to get up here, and then hold here. Even if you go all the way back, you can kind of hold CT. You can fall off pretty easily though. Or you can use a double satchel from the mount area right here.
Satchel out. Satchel out.
To either go towards this direction or towards backside. Or on top of normal side like this. Both of these options are pretty good. You can also use a satchel to get over here, use a satchel to peek this area, or use a satchel to clear out this corner close if you want to take more space towards waterfall. But in general, just getting your team side and then playing on side. You can even play close here, play backside, close here, chomp spot, and then try to get a spam through the boxes, hold CT, or even just playing on top of here is a pretty good idea, because it is a pretty uncommon angle to play as, and it is a pretty good angle for the people to walk in from here to hold them. What you can also do, I don't recommend it all the time, but if you, for example, have a satchel left and you can check if there's somebody backside, even if there's a smoke in main, you can go up here and check for people playing back there. This is only recommended if you play pretty slow, but in general, going up there is not really that great of an idea. Something I also recommend, and I've gotten some comments about it too, is you can see my binds right now are just cool. Those aren't my real binds. My real binds are right here when I go to controls, and then I go to Raze. You can see I have my thumb mouse button on blast packs. This makes it so I don't have to press Q to throw a blast pack or like a satchel. And it is in general pretty easy to satchel if I have it on my mouse. If I have it on Q, for example, when I play a escalation game where it is still on Q, I struggle sometimes because I can't satchel to one side. Like this, I can satchel to either side without risking anything of my movement. But if I have to use Q to move around, I can only satchel towards one side, and it kind of sucks. A friend of mine plays like that. I don't know how he does it. He does it decently, but he doesn't really play that much Raze. So rebinding your satchel binds to something you can use without letting go of any of the movement keys, so WASD if you have the default ones, is a pretty good thing. So either binding it to something you can press with your thumb or with your pinky finger, or using your other hand, in my example, on my mouse to throw satchels. if I had to give Raze a rating from S to F, I'd actually give her the S tier. Because in my opinion, Raze is probably the best duelist you can play on this map, other than maybe a Yoru. But Raze has a lot of good stall util, she also has a lot of good movement util, and she can also clear out certain close angles with her boombot. She's also pretty good to play shotguns on this map, and in general, Raze is probably the best balanced agent on this map in ranked games. That would be it for me. If you have any questions or suggestions which agents I should play next, write them down in the comments, and if you want to see anything else Valorant related, write it down there as well. Other than that, don't forget to like and sub, and come say hi to me on Twitch where I stream almost daily. Have a great rest of your day, and see you guys very soon. Bye!